All right, hello and welcome to another Paint and Chat live stream and me painting a model. So, how are you guys all doing tonight? I hope you have made it into December. We're in the final level of Jumanji, as I hear it said. So, hopefully hopefully things have calmed down for some of us. So, I want to hear what you guys are working on and what progress you've been making over the last 2 weeks. I've been making some, but I've moved on to another model. We are looking at dear old Lady Wraith. This is number 37, a new MiniCrate model from Privateer. And here is the model. I've already put a couple of a little bit of paint on her. I'm gonna try some things tonight, so you know we're gonna do some experimentation. So here you can kind of see her. The details in her face are really good. It's just she's very ethereal and bright right now because I put a gray on her face, a light gray, and I'm going to, watch this, try out this stuff in some of the P3 paint to thin it out and get it to operate more like a light glaze color. Why are you doing this? You can do it. There we go. That color that it doesn't want to focus on. There we go. Haha. A technical paint so that I can get more of this effect. We'll see how that goes. All right, quick shout out and hi to everybody in the chat. Hi, Shale, well, good to see you. War Budgies, also good to see you. Thomas, welcome. Bills, welcome. Paul, thank you as always for being my favorite, best / only moderator. Let's see. How did it turn out to be? How was it December already? Yeah, it's like fast and slow this whole year at the same time. It's bizarre. And transferring images, oh, that's a fun. I have not done that part yet at all. Bills, I printed the image I wanted onto glossy paper labels. Then I placed some Scotch tape onto the image, which the tape picked up. Then I placed the tape onto the model. Not familiar with that one. Oh, Erin, welcome. And other Erin, little Erin, welcome. No, I'm not tasting my paint. I don't do dares, I'm sorry. You should know better, Erin. You know me better than this. But thank you. I'll take your $5 for you to ask the question. Let's see. Working on Canon, and if I finish him before the stream ends, I'll start on Ezra, finishing out the ghost crew from Star Wars Rebels. Gonna try source sliding for the first time ever. Ooh, trying new things. Here we go. So that's what I'm going to try tonight, too. I'm going to do this watered down paint thing, and oh gosh, I don't know. And I haven't, I meant to grab my thicker weird paint that I really like for a leathery look, because it has exactly this green in here. So I wonder if there's any way I can find that. Anyway, that's what I'm working on. Working on cleaning some pewter casts going in a secret Santa box. That's pretty exciting. I have all these wonderful P3 paints that were sent to me, so I need to use them and not spill them everywhere on live stream. Let's see what I've got. So they do have this iron hull gray, which has some of the effect I want, but I really want that little tinge of green in there. So anyway, just figuring all of this stuff out. Taste your paint, little Aaron. I feel like he does that by mistake plenty. Poor Aaron. All right, let's see. So, need to get the base coats in as usual. I went ahead and got the base brush. That's the word. So it's just a matter of getting the rest of her done. Can probably get this typical gray. Oh, thank you. Can probably get this typical gray in on the tombstone she's sitting on. So she's got this cool tombstone that she sits on as a, you know, fashion statement. And then this tiny, is there a tiny skull? There is in fact a tiny skull. Haha. Hey Jeremy. Oh, back to work soon. I know you stay super busy this time of year. What's Lady Wraith from? Well, she is from MiniCrate. So that's Privateer Press's monthly subscription model. It's like $16, $17 a month. And then they send you a one-off model, sort of one of a kind, and that the mold is one of a kind. So they're all metal models that they send you, and you get that one for the given month, and then I guess they destroy the mold. I've never watched that. It makes me feel bad, so I don't. But that's the gimmick, I guess. I've not been painting. I've been playing through Resident Evil 2 board game. I think I'm up to mission 4. That is really cool that you can do a one-player game like that. Dave, I've been very naughty. I'm copying GW decal sheets for personal use. Involves putting a rare white toner cartridge into my laser printer and doing a 2-pass print on very thin, 8 microns thin. Oh, wow. Decal paper. What did I do? I'm tasting paint now. Aaron. My poor friend Aaron is very susceptible to suggestion. Oh my gosh. Well, I appreciate you being here. All the same, good sir. So I'm using here my little bomb wick paint, which I'm finally beating up pretty thoroughly. So I need to get that cleaner, that brush soap you guys were talking about, and maybe the wax or something, and restore it. Because I've grown to quite like this brush, but it's starting to get a little frayed at the end, which is probably due to my own mistreatment of it. See how unhappy it's getting there. So things to address, but in the meantime, it still works. So we're just gonna get that paint on there. That makes sense. I saw a video of them shooting up a mold with firearms. I didn't quite compute. Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of funny. I didn't know that's how they were destroying some of those molds. Model looks amazing. It is. She's really cool. Like, a lot of them are pretty cool, especially when they're like favorite characters you have that they do a different take on. But some of them are just sort of inspiring all on their own, because there are gun wraiths in Iron Kingdoms in War Machine. They're Crix models. But she's just kind of neat on her own, like you would use her for general painting competition or something like that. If we're ever allowed to have those again. There we go. It's funny, I still put too much paint on my brush because I'm not used to it coating as well as it does. So, there. She has a tombstone. But the expression should hopefully become more apparent when I get this mix on. But I'm afraid of putting the mix on without getting her undercoats on, because I don't want to go through all that work and then like accidentally smoosh over it with something. So, yes indeed. I just got brush soap. I have not tasted it yet, though. Yet. Master brush soap, thank you. Looking forward to the Flugwug we need. I'm pumped for the next MiniCrate with the Dreamers stuffed toy from Monster Apocalypse. Ooh, that does sound really fun. It smells citrusy. I haven't been painting. Busy trying to figure out how to get the Titan Forge minis to print on my Anycubic Photon. It's getting super frustrating. Flo has one of those now, so I'm curious to mess with it. It's a whole to-do, and she just moved recently, so there hasn't been any time to mess with that, but soon. My experience currently is only with filament 3D printers. There appears to be a GIF war going on in the Squadrons Discord I'm in. Europeans are posting Gordon Ramsay and Americans are retaliating with Guy Fieri. It's getting weird. Oh, the internet. I got spoiled with that craft paint life. I know. Someday face-to-face gameplay will return. I promise. I hope so, Bills. I think we can't do this forever. I'll just work at home at my job. Yeah. Jeremy stays plenty busy. Okay, I hate to abandon you guys, but there is a specific paint that I want, and I know I want it, so I'm gonna go get it real quick. I'll be right back. One of these. I don't know. Sorry. Hi, guys. Sorry for that. I had to dig. And now I'm going to attempt to do different things that I have not done before, including mixing my really fancy Lamian medium with amazing chunky craft paint for the purpose of coverage on her little outfit here because it is the correct color. So we'll see. Cato forever except Butcher. That's right. All hail the Dragon Father. Oh. Everyone to CG real quick. Thanks, Aaron. So what happens when I leave? More juice? Really? Well, I do have a Minoth color I will be using tonight if that helps, but Kador. Definitely Kador. I hope all is well. I've been deviant in my attendance lately. You're good. Due to lack of OOMF for painting. No, I didn't cancel. I'm back. Yes. Thanks. Okay, so let's try this mixed paint. That is just not a quality you want generally in your paint. But here we are. You know, 2020 comes with some tough decisions. We'll just see what we can do. I'm gonna add some this stuff seems appropriate. And I know it's really hard to tell because it's clear, but it's in that one. And you just kind of carve it out. This is just amazing, really. Gosh. Okay, sorry. This is That's what happens when you buy 50-cent paints. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, on that appetizing note, I'm totally getting to my paint in here somewhere. It can be restored. I've restored it before. That's plenty. Ta-da! Some more MiniCrate. Shut up, Paul. Oh my god, is that heavy body paint, that folklore acrylic paint? It's fine, guys. See, look, we're mixing it. And then it will be fine. Because it turns out, you know, with the right chemistry, you could totally restore paint pretty effectively. Or you can pay $3 more and have paint that doesn't do this. But, you know, 2020 has made us all have to make different choices. Anyway, well, half of this live stream might be spent restoring the paint. It is still the correct color and what I want. Retribution CID just started. I was wondering where things were with it. That looks like coal toothpaste. Yes, it's a little pasty, but look, that's totally coming back to paint quality right there. You can paint with that. Some might find it, you know, blasphemous to put this on a model on purpose, but, you know, it's the right color, I repeat. Yeah. Squish, squish. We just have to work out the little remaining chunks. And honestly, I am pretty proud of this. Used to mix the opposite on the brush, bigger and more rounded. Well, I've got the toothpick for that. I'm quite happy with that. Cricks will love it. Exactly, a necromantic figure with necromanced paint. Works. All right, there we go. So that's how you restore that. And then we just get that lovely color right onto our model. And honestly, it is covering quite nicely. And you don't see any streaks or chunks, i.e. chunks, on any of it. So nice and clean on the figure. Check it out. So, take that, you doubters. You guys are supportive. None of my craft paint look that bad. Quiet, Alfonso. It's an older paint, and I'm in the desert where things dry out. And it's actually, I can't find this color anymore. So I need to make it last as long as I can. So, yes. I'll use good paints for the rest of it. It's just this color is called wrought iron, and it's essentially an off black with a tinge of green to it, which just makes it perfect for this model. And when you run a black wash over it, it doesn't go all the way to black still. It actually ends up developing this leathery sheen to make it look like leather. And it's just beautiful. All my murder crows were painted with it, so despite the, you know, questionable way we got here, it is what it is. It's, you know, it's not a cooking show, it's just paint, guys. Yeah, anyway. We just need to get that coverage on there so we can get onto the fun part. Oh, last of its kind, then it must be saved. At least I can't find it. I'm sure if I worked harder to look. How are you doing? Have you moved yet? I understand you were moving. Hope all of that went well. And thank you for being here, by the way. Oh, I do enjoy that color. All right, I'm gonna have to use a smaller brush to get into the rest of the crevices. Hold on, we'll get there. sure we all believe you. As long as you know what you're doing so we get our money's worth. Put the romance in necromance. Ooh, I like that. It's, you know, I have done this a few times. I'm gonna add a little airbrush there too. That should help it last longer. It's probably a good idea. I don't have that stuff. Alright. On to... I really like a little bit of a firmer brush. Aha, you are perfect. I love it when I've finally gotten to the point of having enough brushes that I can usually find the one I need. I didn't move homes, move jobs. I thought you actually moved too. I'm sorry. Apologies. Well, either way, how's that working out for you? Hoping you enjoy it a lot more. Okay, so let's get this in here. Now we have to do all the nitty-gritty detail. And her leg is on top of the fabric. So I'm gonna try and keep that as smooth as I can, basically. So we'll just carefully go around her foot. And then try to undo what I splattered onto the thingy. Tombstone. So far a lot better. Oh, good. Well, I am happy for you. It's funny in a way, I guess, how much 2020 has resulted in people making changes they've been putting off. I've had a lot of coworkers who ended up changing jobs this year or even going into business for themselves because it's something they'd been wanting to do and putting off because, you know, never feels like the right time or whatever. And then 2020's uncertainty hit and I was like, just go do it, I guess. I respect it. Also, props to this medium. It really is actually causing this paint to spread a lot more smoothly than it normally does with just water. And this is just like the detailing part of it. You will notice any model you get from Privateer will have a whole lot more crevices and internal areas to paint than like most GW models because of the way they're made. Because you watch like the GW guys paint on their channel and they just go over the whole top of the model with a watery paint and it's like in all of the areas. And that does not work with these models. I mean, unless it's like really diluted, and I haven't tried that. So if you have, let me know. Hey, Mandragora. I'm catching up on War Machine lore, oh yeah? Well, that's exciting. Where are you up to? Are you going chronologically? Are you reading through the rule books? Are you reading the Iron Kingdoms? Like RPG stuff? All right. I have a theory that GW decal sheets are printed on industrial thermal printers, which cost thousands of dollars and can naturally print white, unlike laser and inkjet. GW decals are printed on blue paper because the printers they are using can actually print white. Interesting. Here in Ohio, we got a bit of snow, locally about 14 inches on top of the rain, so snow on top of slush. Gross. I woke up this morning to find snow that I had to knock off my car. That was, I never watched weather reports, so, you know, Every day is a surprise. Alright, let's get some of this detail in there, a little quick like. Might have to get some more medium and thin this out a bit more. I feel like it's starting to coagulate. But yeah, I'm excited. This model when I saw her definitely made me want to work on her this week and get her ready. Her with like a little black wash on top, and then her hair looks fun to paint because it's all swooshy. It's like those are little aspects of a model that always capture me. "2020, the year of screw it, might as well." Yeah. Night, Jeremy. Thanks for being here. So since this is the best place for me to get discussion argument, am I the only one who figured out that War Machine Hordes is going to have a winner? Spoilers, it's Legion of Everblight. Why? Just because of the weight spreads? Or is it just because you're biased? Because there's a really good chance that Turek will come up and raffle stomp all of Everblight. Although the way he chose to fight Turek is pretty brilliant. The biggest thing that always made me laugh about the War Machine Hordes lore was just like the idea that everybody was going to ignore the fact that they're dragons. It's like, oh yeah, Turek, you know, he kind of ruled the world for a while. Freaking dragon the size of the state of California, as far as I can tell. Massive dragons are so massive. Yeah, well, it's some great weather considering we get so much rain. Yeah, you have that weird temperate area where you guys don't really need air conditioner. Over here, I was shocked to find out that Rosario Dawson in that alien costume in the last episode. Oh, I haven't been watching Mandalorian because I don't have Disney Plus. Raffle stomp is the word of the day. Sorry, it's back to playing WoW for me, and well, raffle stomp is a phrase of the time. Alright, let's get a little bit more of this in here. Just gently adding this medium so that I don't have to contaminate. Get this beautiful little bit here. Alright. Just needed a re-dose of the paint. I really don't want to have to remix the whole thing though, so I'm trying to make this last. For me, painting the privateer press models makes shading easier with all those folds and crevices. Oof, yeah. Just the War Machine Horde books at the moment. No IK. I just finished Exigence and I'm moving onto Exigence. I need a few faction codices, but after that, it's command books. I love how Targ just sleeps a lot on his island. Well, his concept of time has got to be different, you know? And you think with the Infernals coming, he would have woken up and been like, not on my planet, but I don't know. Whatever. They got defeated by the Grimkin anyway, so it's fine. That's my official story. I'm sticking to it. Alright, so we're getting her cool little jacket painted as part of the sort of Victorian-ish style. Not Victorian, it's like Civil War Victorian style that she's got. It's so funny, this Lathium gray is definitely cheating me into a much higher quality paint than I paid for. Miranda finished Hellblade Sinra earlier tonight with Jimmy. That game is an absolute experience. Oof, I bet. Interesting. Lithium medium, most acrylic medium is white. Yeah, this one's totally clear, which obviously is helpful in this instance. Logistics. All human kingdoms fight with jacks and armies. Men take 15 years to be ready for war. Jacks require mines and foundries. Crooks are better, but still machined. Well, I mean, but you could also argue the convergence of Ceres. I mean, they're machines. They're immortal souls inside machines that can largely be rescued and made into more machines. I get what you're talking about with Everblight having a more organic experience in being able to create or fund essentially a war machine. But I do think it takes a fair bit of energy to blight things. Anything on the holiday wish lists? I haven't really thought much about the holidays. My brothers messaged me the other day and like, oh, don't forget to update your wish list. I'm like, 2020 can just go ahead and be over. That's fine with me. But I don't know. What is the exciting thing these days? I know everybody was all excited about a PS5, but I didn't care about that. And I am excited about what is it? Darktide? Is that the new one that is from Fat Shark, the makers of the most amazing Vermintide games? They've got a new game that's coming out pretty soon. Have any of you guys ever played the game Phasmophobia? It's like this multiplayer horror game. It is so spooky. Oh my gosh. My brothers and I went and played that online with my cousin. She was all super into it and actually knew what she was doing. And you play these ghost hunters, ghost investigators. It's more like you identify them more than anything else. But then you have to go into this spooky haunted house and work together to find clues to find out what kind of ghost you have. But they're not like cute little boos from Mario. They're spooky, whispering in your ear, monstrous ghosts that turn off the power and do creepy things. So, me being the oh-so-brave gamer I am, generally hidden ban. That makes some sense, although Everblight is somewhat limited by the NIS. Well, they don't need just NIS. They can blight anyone. There were dwarves that were blighted too. Rulix, I should say. Sure, the dragon spawns are numerous, but they still need their blood and commands to fight. Hordes are worse. Circle are small clans of men and beasts, just like Trollbloods. Scorn have all that, plus crossing a desert. Even with a quick beast reproduction, we're still talking years. Well, I mean, it also depends. Like, are they getting interrupted during this, or are you assuming they're left to cleanly work away? Because again, I go back to the convergence of Ceres, which people didn't even seem to know about for a long time, and do have secret bases everywhere, which you'll read about when you read the pretty short story about what's her name, Haley, staying alive when she gets poisoned by Denegra. And she meets the convergence of Ceres because they offer to let her join them because they like her. They also courted Nemo, of course. As far as I can tell, they haven't courted anybody from the Kador lands. They don't seem very impressed with them. But and they've been able to do stuff for a very, very long time. The Legion of Everblight have a lot of brute force. But the thing is, if Everblight ever makes too big a move, Torek will wake up and just, wreak havoc. Because, Torek wants to murder all of his spawn. Like, all his children were jerks. Almost as big a jerk as he is. So he couldn't have that. So you've got like this weird family dynamic that probably keeps a little bit of that in check. The Scorn are very motivated because they have no afterlife, so, you know, they really don't want to die or fail. It's cold where I am and I can't use spray primer. Is brush primer any good? I haven't used it. If so, how many coats? Is one solid enough, or should the model be a solid color of primer? Audience people? I'd choose one, I'd say Crix gets it. Undead armies have a lot of advantages. Well, undead armies are nice because you have armies that were just total soldiers before who have died, and then you go and you pick them up. The problem is you also have to consume your undead because necrotite is harvested from like battlefields and all of that and used to feed jacks, and that is a consumed fuel source. So, you know, theoretically you would run out eventually, but you know, if you're fighting everyone else, you kind of get the best bang for your buck, and that everybody you've defeated you can then kind of pull to your side to an extent. Except for Menites. Menites are actually really hard for Crix to take because the City of Man Arcane is very strongly guards their people, so it's one of the safer religions to be if you're going up against Crix. Meanwhile, Legion spawn, born of cauldrons made with some warlock blood and a lot of living raw material. And the Nis are birthing Nephilim, who are already fighting after years, not decades. This is true. My desk is covered in Fallout and Warcaster. I have no clue what's cool these days. Amen, brother. That's just good parenting. Scorn, life is pain, death is worse. I can't hear the phrase life is pain without thinking of that awful movie Long Kiss Goodnight. And like, just makes me so sad when I think about that movie. And the death of Gina Davis's career. Although I guess she's kind of back to doing stuff. I always liked her. So it's good. Alright, so we've mostly got this color on here. I'm not getting it in all of the places I need to get it, so let me fix that a little bit and then we can work on the fun stuff. Just want to do it right. Preferably before this paint dries and is dead again. But yeah, it is an interesting economy you talk about when it comes to the machine of war. Almost there, guys. The nice thing is any of the streaking will go away with a wash. Alright, so just getting this on her arm here, and I think her spooky black racy dress jacket is gone. Where's done? Is that a new MiniCrate model? It is, Donald. It's MiniCrate number 37. That one right there. Ta-da! Meet Lady Wraith. MiniCrate number 37. It says October, but I got her like at the very end of November, so I don't ever keep track of the. It's hard to keep track of the dates. I don't know. All right, and I'm gonna have to call it done, I think. Everything else will just have to be a different color. Yeah, blight can affect anyone, but Everblight's power is only what it is because Nis are elves, since you researched their anatomy in IS for decades. Fair point. Cephalics, or how to make more of your subjects. Ugh. Yeah, the cephalics are kind of like mad scientist-y. I don't think their production of minions is all that terribly efficient. Comes down to numbers, corpses, and a little bit of warlock blood is readily available resource and produce full war beasts, while everything else requires an assembly line and 20-year lifespan. I liked that movie. Oh, Miranda, think about Princess Bride instead. Life is pain. Anyone who says otherwise is selling you something. That is a much better reference. It's just not something I think about because it's not as like burned into my brain as hearing an 8-year-old girl like yell at her mom screaming, "Life is pain." I mean, really, when you think about one versus the other, one's a lot more memorable, for better or worse. Kiss goodnight. That one had, when you make an assumption, makes an ass out of you and me. And Upchin. I don't remember the rest of that movie. I agree that Legion has much more effective manufacturing method than most. Still, I don't think they win in the end. And for the record, Circle Army owner, I love the Falcons. By the way, things have been set up to make me think Legion is gonna win, barring an act of God or dragon. Good lord, we made 37 of those things? Unless you're skipping numbers, I would say so. The real winners of the Iron Star Alliance for saying, screw the noise and leaving for another galaxy back when the Infernal showed. That just sounds like some weird fan fiction that you're talking about right now, War Budgies. We're talking about the real Iron Kingdom's world. Moving on to base coats on Ezra while wash dries on Canon before doing the source lighting. Ooh, it's exciting. Nothing is ever easy for the druids. Well, they just care about balance, and I don't know. I mean, from what I've read on the circle stuff, they don't work very well together anyway. Oh yeah, progress check. Hello. Do that. So we've got very high contrast. In fact, I'm gonna kill that light and see if you can actually see her face this time. Maybe. Now it's just overcorrecting for it. Can you see her face? Sort of see her face? I don't know. We're gonna be weird. We're gonna start adding some strangeness. And by that I mean using more of this median to get the colors the way I want. Ah, I just love the way that hair whips though. Look at that. Look at that, it's so pretty. It's very lovely. Anyway, sorry my camera is like, yay, progress. Didn't want to say that because I don't know if Miranda had finally read Henjold yet. No idea, but it's an opening lore for Warcaster, so it's no trade secret. Okie dokie. So, for the hair, I have found and picked and now lost. Oh, there it is. The Gnarls green. I feel like it best matches her neat green hair. And I was thinking of using a diluted version for her skin. That's the plan. We'll see. Signar needs enemies to keep advancing technology. Kador needs territories to reclaim. Crix needs others to add to their ranks, and so on. Ah, yes, the endless machine of war. I'm opening up the brand new paint for this one. So we're going to use this Gnarls paint, and then I'll see how dark that comes out. It's very rich, which all of these paints always are. Enough of that for the moment. So I've got some of this lovely green in here. I keep wanting like this touch of blue aqua to it. But I don't know if I can quite accomplish that. Man, I really wish Zoo became a thing. Hey man, the Kickstarter for the for the Iron Kingdoms adventure is going to come out. I think if that gets a whole lot of support, they will be exploring those worlds of Zoo and literally everything else on King, considering we really never left Western Imran. So, you know, have faith, and when that Kickstarter comes out, support it. Show them, like, no, we like this world. Let's keep going with it. It's definitely my goal. All right. Let's see if I need to add a little bit of... It's definitely more of a Kelly green than I would like. Let's see if we can jack with it a bit. It's an IKRPG player, that'd be great. I was starting to lose focus. Time to crash. Night gang. Night War Veggies, thanks for being here. Kinda don't for IKRPG for sure, but War Machine Hordes has already suffered too many factions, and that'd be, what, the third or fourth faction to come from distant lands? They'd have to be, like, I think they do okay with their limited factions. I mean, Grimkin, I think, was handled well. The Iron Crucible, people were pretty excited about. Iron Crucible? Oh my gosh. I'm doing great. But anyway, the people who were in Lael and had the whole technology stuff. What is it called? Crucible Guard. Thank you. They did all right. And the idea of that is they work well with other factions, or there's like allyships. I agree, like skew bloat is a very real problem. So that needs to get addressed in some way, but it's also fun to have new models and fun stuff there. Frostbite, huh? What does that do if we add that? I don't know. I'm gonna try mixing paints. This is so weird. Orgoth needs to make an appearance just for laughs. Hey guys, remember us? The reason you have magic? Yeah, I wonder how that would go over. That would be kind of funny, I will admit. Well, this is kind of a cool color I'm getting. Honestly. Need some more green though. Yeah, I never thought I'd meet the point where I was mixing paints either, but here we are, okay? So I just mixed some of this Gnarls green with Frostbite because I wanted a hint of blue in there. And it's definitely lightening it up, but I don't know if I'm quite getting the blue tinge I want. I don't know if I have a strong enough color in there if that's causing the effect I want. However, it is giving me more like this effect, which I am interested in. New paints? Well, new-ish. Crucible Guard, that's it, yes, but I came to it first. I was always surprised that PP did not explore more of the planet. Requiem, I'm actually excited for it. Yes, let's all be super excited for Requiem, because I am so on board. I cannot wait. It's kind of an interesting minty color I'm getting here. Don't hate it. I don't know, what do you guys think? I really like CG. I used them in my first Journeyman's League. I also really like the models. Their aesthetic fits the setting really well. Not like Grimkin. Grimkin is definitely a bit of an oddball in the factions. I agree, but I love him. I love them so much. Obviously it's a little thick, so I'm going to move it around. But what do you think of the color? I'm kind of digging it. got more of a spooky feel, you know? Yeah, it's got the green in there, but it's not dark. Like, I didn't want it to have just a crazy dark color. The Grimkin, you know, there are a lot of aspects of the Iron Kingdoms that are worth considering. Not everything is the industrial side of it, whereas Crucible Guard absolutely like fit that aesthetic of the of modernity, of the modern world as known in the Iron Kingdoms. And the Grimkin are very old world. They're the fairy tales come to life, but they, you know, the idea of them predating, and I wasn't initially on board with this, mind you, but I came around. But the idea of them sort of predating it does add another dimension to Kane, I think. Because, yeah, you have just a wild and varied world. It's not like 40K where everything is grimdark like crazy. Grimdark with their sort of tongue-in-cheek approaches to, like orcs, for example. It's like an entire faction of Gorman. Yeah, I can definitely see the appeal for folks who are fans of Gorman. Grim can have cool, dreamy aesthetic. Just don't feel great seeing them close to a jack and all that. Well, and that's sort of where things get ridiculous. It's like the fighting style is sort of hampered by just the way War Machine and Hordes play. So you've got to have the skin and moans that can get souped up and destroy a Kadoran Warjack somehow. It's like, they shouldn't necessarily be fighting that way. It really should be like they are ambush fighters. They shouldn't even really be fighting wars, probably, like in big battles. They really are just assassins that come and get bad people and fight the Infernals, which I guess is why they're also fighting other factions. So I really like their idea, but I can definitely see how the application of it does feel a little jarring in gameplay. I mean, I've kind of always felt that way when you fight like against Krixcasters or something. And, you know, GW does the same thing. I think the Silent King and, you know, Magnus are pretty, well, I assume the Silent King's going to be ridiculous. But, you know, Magnus is in all of these chaos lists because of how ridiculously good he is. And so you have to sort of separate it. Ah, look at that hair. So pretty. Probably true. Grim can show up more where they're supposed to be than where the fighting is. Yeah, and so it's, you know, it is what it is. I really enjoy the models, and so because the gameplay and those mechanics exist, I get to enjoy those. I don't know how reasonable it is necessarily to produce a whole line of models just for the IKRPG. I mean, that'd be awesome. But I don't know that I can reasonably say that is how the game company would be supported. Stream not appear on your homepage. Been playing some War Machine Tactics. I wish they had more factions. How is Tactics these days? It's been literally years. It was super, super clunky when I first played it, and I really appreciate the ambition they had when they brought in that game, but I hope they can do something like that again. Alright, so here's where we're at so far. Green hair. She's a little, I don't know, makes me think of like a Medusa-like character. Golly, that. I'm gonna have to kill that again. Getting there slowly but surely. I've got half an hour left. Let's see if we can get the rest of her skin on. this is the part where I was going to really lean into the latham. Let's see. Yeah, I know YouTube loves the constant videos, but it was becoming quite overbearing on my schedule every single Wednesday, so I apologize, but it was necessary. Okay, let us get some more of this latham stuff in. It's weird, it's so viscous. And I really like that color, so we're gonna go with some more of that blue with also the green, and hope I don't, you know, mess it up. See? Whatever. They have Matt and Mercer as crayons. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. But that doesn't surprise me, because Matt Mercer is married to what, Mercer Ray, and she is Scar. No, she played Haley's voice, I think. I can't remember all of the... She did a few. I mean... So I'll have to go back. It's been a while. The graphics for it I always really, really liked. Oh, they made those factions look so beautiful. Hey, Brayden, how you doing, man? Not you. That's my green. Not all green. So, on to WoW news. My guild and I are getting ready to go into Nax tomorrow. It's, I'm actually kind of nervous. It'll be exciting to see us trying that one. Because so far, we've kind of made a joke of AQ. You know, and there's plenty of preparation and stuff that people had done for it, but like we really went in and just destroyed AQ. It was fun. But AQ is supposed to be the hardest of all the dungeons, so you know, we'll see where that ends up for us. Alright, so I'm going for more of a glazy feel, and obviously that is way too dark, so we're going to add some more frostbite. Yeah, that's right, she cosplayed as Scar, but she played Haley. Tactics hasn't had anything in about 3 years. I don't know that they get support anymore. I don't think it has support really anymore, so that would be why. Alright, let's keep mixing all this paint into this pretty glaze. Oh, we're getting closer. Probably gonna need some more of the frostbite. Some minty color is kind of fun though. And admittedly, I am having fun just mixing the medium and watching everything be really smooth in it. Camera needed fixing, and the mouse clicks a little unintuitive, but it wasn't bad otherwise. I'm glad they cleaned it up a lot. I remember they had some very gigantic problems in the beginning. I wasn't happy with tactics and never tried Dark Seduction at DLC. Hope that was better than the main game. That was one of the cooler sounding parts of the Kickstarter. See, and I didn't get in on the Kickstarter, I just got it afterward, and I literally played it probably a year or so, maybe even longer, after release, which I think was the best way to do it, just because of how many kinks they had to work out. And, you know, it's like, it's hard not to want to give them some leeway just because they are a small game company, but then, you know, they made a lot of promises, so I don't blame people for being upset about it. I just hope they finally were able to kind of follow through on most of them. I remember my IK nerd friends watching gameplay for the first time and saying, wow, these jacks are fast. You're like, eh. It's kind of funny, actually. Really enjoyed Space Hulk Tactics. Got mediocre reviews, but I loved it. Try the Tomb of Heroes sometimes if you want a tough dungeon. Tomb of Heroes? What are you talking about? For WoW? I don't even know what language you're speaking right now, mister. This is a lot I'm mixing. This is like way too much, but whatever. I'm really wanting that paler, ethereal color. I'm obviously not mixing enough of this blue in. But could you imagine, like, I don't know, what kind of game would you like to see that actually would be a funner introduction into the world of, like, War Machine Iron Kingdoms? Because I wondered about even something more basic, like a fighter game. Real-time strategies are also pretty fun, like Warcraft 3 style would be potentially a lot of fun, but I don't know how involved that would be. Like, if they were to just start small, because I think it would do them a lot of Persia a lot of favors to have a video game presence. It obviously does a lot of favors for the 40K audience. Right there. That's basically the shade I want on her skin. Just gotta mix enough of it so it doesn't dry out. Hello from Toronto. Welcome. I remember watching all your tactics videos and thinking, this is some real dedication to actually finish it. Did I actually finish it? We got far in, and it was some slogging through those. Some of them were really a lot of fun, but it's always a mix. And, you know, hoping the game mechanics don't screw you over, because sometimes it could glitch and stuff wouldn't work, or you'd lose your activation. Super annoying. But so you have to go. Have a good night, Alfonso. Thanks. All right, let's get some paint on this lady. All right, that super light minty color. Let's see how it comes across. I was thinking with it being a light enough shade, it would probably go on like a glaze, which is why I undercoated her in gray. So far, I am enjoying these results. Very nice pale tone. I don't know if you can quite tell how dark it is. Focus, sort of. Gosh, it gets so close to focusing. That's so annoying. All right, well, this is obviously a little bit brighter. Let's try that. Come on. Focus. Sorry, guys. Her face is just not cooperating. But one of the things I like that I've done with this mix is that it is also mixed from a shade of her hair. So it blends really naturally. The feature seems like a natural offshoot, you know. Her hair looks fine and not weird or bright or too green or any of that. There's definitely a distinct green in there, but it's very, very pale, which I think works when you're a Wraith. It's not going on as glazy as I thought it would either. It's just sort of going on more like a paint. So I didn't know what that effect would be, because I guess if you mix it, like, do you mix it more with just water to get the glaze effect? There we go. She's coming along nicely. I know. That hair is great color. Should have went with grind for video game, but no. Grind probably would have actually been really popular, actually. I agree with Alfonso. But, you know, it's not to say that can never happen. I can only imagine that should be a leasable IP for video games, right? Isn't that how GW does it? It's not like they finance and make all of those games. They just lease their IP and let someone else make something. Alright. Sure has skin tone that's not just pure gray. Oh, do the thing. Alright, I'm gonna force this because it's pissing me off. Alright, let's see. So to get you to work, I need to focus you here, and I need to go into one of these cameras. That one. Configure. Camera control, focus, auto. There you go. How's that look, guys? Gotta keep her basically this distance. You can sort of see her face there, I think, if I shade it. Yeah. So, needs some lines cleaned up, obviously. But I am happy with that shade of green. I feel like that did the job fine. So it should be a natural green hair or dye. Oh, this is super natural in the way that it's like unnatural that she's moving around at all. But definitely naturally that way. Meanwhile, this is a white paint in the eyes of Menoth. Alright, next up. I did a lot of mixing just to get that little tiny bit of paint on her. It's a little funny to me. Oh well. Make sure I have it in all the spots that I want. I don't want to have to remix this. That was a lot of work. But I do like the way it came out. And I find it funny, she's like blowing the smoke of her gun. Good touch. And then she can have an actual face added. And go with features. It's so natural, it's super natural. Yeah, Twisted knows what's up. Hey Byron. 20 minutes left. Okay. We're sort of getting through it. We've got the main colors on here. I'm really not feeling bad about this. We're going with the so she's got these wraps essentially around her neck and her belt. So we're gonna get that painted on here. Figured that has a very strong yellow tinge, which perfectly matches this Menoth white. Don't know why it's a white. It's a base white, so I mean, I guess that's why, but it's very yellow. It's very, very off-white. So I'll pop that in the details here. There's not a lot of the scarf showing. It's definitely more prevalent in the concept art. but it does the job. And it's definitely the appropriate color. So, yay. Where are you guys at tonight on the on progress? I know some stuff's definitely been getting done. Already looking better with the third color on there, I'd say. I swear this freaking thing just gets tired and stops focusing. Yeah, it's just blowing out all of that white. Alright, getting the these details on. Maybe I can get her face on before we end for the night. That would be a nice goal to end at. That way everything else is sort of clean up, the guns and her hands. Hello, her hands need painting, don't they? That'd be helpful. We're just gonna run and do that before all that stuff goes on. That Minoth white base. It's better with the highlight. Well, it's perfect as this tone I need, but yeah, I assume it's naming itself a base because it needs to have other colors on top of it. Bye, Magigora. Thanks for coming by. I've been using a new computer. The motherboard got fried on my last one earlier this month. Oh my gosh. I want to try telling Minoth he got white wrong. Just finished Dragger 2 for Call to Arms. One more Mook and then the big Dragger boss. It's pretty exciting. When I paint my gun mages, I had to keep mixing the denim for their jackets. Then I got the P3 denim paint. Too bad I would finish them first. Ooh, I know, it's always the way it goes. I can't believe I was gonna forget her freaking hands. This is where I'm being silly. So let's make sure we don't forget that. Glad I mixed plenty of paint and it hadn't dried or anything yet. And all of that medium. Overpaint the hand a little bit, but whatever. At least we know it all matches. I'm gonna have to be extra careful because I didn't paint any of the under, gun. So there's that. Also thinking I'm gonna use the same highlight and dry brush her hair to add some dimension because it's a little plain, We're gonna add some highlights to it, at which point one might argue that it's a dyed hair color instead of natural. However, we don't know what happens to you in Urkane on that note, so I feel like it's arguable. Justifiable, and would even require someone to notice first, so I'm not too worried. Ta-da! Hands! Oh, Night Ender, have a good one. We're kind of coming to the end of this anyway. Most of the base colors on Ezra. His orange jacket is making me rage. Ooh, sorry. Looking for a good desk lamp for my new painting station. Then stuff gets done. Let us know your final thoughts on the paints. I've been enjoying these paints. I've been using them for a few weeks now, and I've found them to be quite good. I mean, admittedly, I'm coming from craft paints, so take that as you will. But I certainly have found that the coverage is vastly superior to what I normally have, and I've definitely been enjoying that. They mix well. I, will put a black wash still on them, and that's a GW brand item, and I don't not use craft paints just due to color selection. But no, P3s have been really nice. The only reason I hadn't tried them before is I don't see them in game stores, so I really appreciate Privateer sending them, and they are definitely getting used. Ooh, that's much better. Look at that. I say look at that. I'm gonna just have to Instagram all of these pictures. Anyway, I'm dry brushing that brighter, whiter, not whiter, but just lighter, thin green on to her hair, and that is definitely improving the effect. Yeah, for sure. Dry brushing with a lighter color. Sorry, already answered that. Valero. Vallejo. Valero's a gas station out here. I'm working on detailing my Thunderwolf. I just put Strickland mud on the base. I'm going to use either snow for the first time tomorrow when the mud is dry. Use their snow. Onto the wolves, next wolves. One brown and one gray/black. Nice. It's always a pleasure watching your paints dry. Enjoy hanging out with all of you. Good to see you, Thomas. Have you painted Widget Wonka yet? She's the model that made me bite the bullet and start MiniCrate. I saw her and I immediately thought of giving it to Flo, because Flo is way better at the type of details that would look really cool on that model. So I'm gonna leave that one for Flo. I've hopped over instead to Lady Wraith in this case. So, because yeah, she is a fun and really cool model, but Flo a while back, she did a commission paint for someone's Malifaux army. It was Seamus, I believe. And she did sort of like this Willy Wonka theme with him. Is Seamus the one who has all the hookers? Because, you know, this wholesome, weird game. Yeah, she did a whole candy theme with them, and it looked amazing. And then his army got stolen, so that sucked, but that wasn't her fault. All right, let's see here. So we're gonna add a touch of white to that. I'm really super happy with her hair and skin tone. Oof, I'm so happy with how that all came out. So let's see here. Yeah, I did dry shade and blend, and then dry brush again. I just started MiniCrate recently as well. They've had some really good ones lately. I know! And I never keep up with what the next one is or anything, because I'm just subscribed, so I just open it and I'm like, oh, this is fun. Although you'll notice they've changed the packaging. I guess it's just it probably is more efficient. The boxes they were sending were cute, but kind of not needed. Let's see, so we're gonna go back to this little Minoth white base and add a shimage. That blue really sticks to these brushes, man. And add a smidge of white to her eyeballs so that we can get her eyes painted. Do we use this off-white or do we use a lighter white, I wonder? Don't really want to go with a titanium though. Wait, what hookers? You've never played Malifaux, Aaron? Oh, it is a fun game. The lore for it is hilarious, especially since, well, I have a lot of reasons for thinking it's hilarious, but it's quite enjoyable. It's very tongue-in-cheek, and yes, there are hookers. And they'll shank you. Oh my gosh, I'm getting this brush everywhere. Make my own game of blackjack and hookers. Well, you can certainly do that. Zombie hookers. Wow. I feel like using undead hookers to narrow down Malifaux characters wouldn't help you as much as you think. Well, you know, they know their style. Hey guys, sorry I missed, but I got off work and I'm off to bed, but I wanted to say hi. Hey Patrick! Yeah man, get some rest. Thanks for popping by. I'm just about finishing up here myself. Trying to get a cool looking face on my little chica here. And taking advantage of the fact that I still have my paints that are wet and not letting them dry before I get what I want out of them. You know how it is. Actually, with the exception of Seamus, Hera Malifaux seems to bring down the sex appeal with every faction. Oh. Well, I played in MK2, and I didn't think it hurt it at all, but who knows in this day and age. I just can't help but laugh at it, especially since so many, like, those were, when I saw women who played played war games, they were usually playing Malifaux, and it was usually, like, those factions with the undead hookers. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Women just play what they want to play, you know. Turns out they're not offended by absolutely everything on Earth, so I can't help but keep that in mind. Thank you, Trench Fighter. So I decided I would go with black eyebrows. I'm not sure if I like it, because I thought it'd be a cool contrast. However, I think I might have made them too thick. With too much 90s brow. Oh, come on. Look at it slowing down like that too. Can you not? Alright, we're gonna just force it again, because it's a dumb camera. Let's see, camera control, focus, stop, and exposure. We're getting a little bit more of that kind of look. So she's got just white eyes, but I think those need to be brighter, and I just don't know if I need to. I think if I thin the eyebrows, it'll actually work okay. Sparkle. I don't know. She's a little bit exciting here. What is this model that you are painting for? This is the MiniCrate model. She's for fun and practice, I guess. So there's that. If I can leave this like this, so it'll just be mad. Okay, so let's try that. Oh my god. I didn't spill the paint this time. I'm gonna add more of my little green to the top. In an effort to thin these chunky eyebrows down. It's a Lady Wraith, an alternative sculpt for War Machine's Salon Pistol Wraith. Yeah, Biorhythm knows what's up. Sorry, he's giving a more thorough answer than I did, Aaron. Is that any better, you think? I think that her eyes need to be more white than this yellow color. So we're gonna bust it out. We're gonna bust out, what is it, Moro white? Moro white. Ta-da! Ceylon Crick's autocorrect is really getting me. I hear ya. Okay, so we're gonna take a tiny bit of that. Tiny bit of that. Paint that over what we've got now. I think with the tone of her skin, that yellow is not having the effect I want, let's say. I'm just gonna go the same way. Oh, good. She doesn't have those Keira Knightley eyebrows or Claire Devine, other more modern actresses. Yeah, I think just the plain white works better, especially in the contrast against the more black eyebrows. So, looks a little more spooky. I'm pretty happy with that. Again, yes, there are details to clean up, but, you know, her skin tone kind of came out pretty great. Her hair, I'm really super happy with. You can even see, like, her skin tone being used as a highlight for the hair to add some detail. So, I'm going to end it here, because this lady's got a face. That makes me happy. Yay. So, thank you guys. Appreciate you all who stuck around and watched me mix paint with a medium for literally the first time ever. So that worked out better than better than it needed to, by all rights. So yeah, there you go. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will be back in 2 weeks, every other Wednesday. So that next one would be December 16th. And then I'll see you before the new year. Oh, exciting. You know, it's 9 o'clock. I've got to go eat dinner and do things. Random, do those GW handles really help? I thought they just get in the way. Personally, for me, they have been awesome. Part of the problem with just holding a mini, of course, is like just the, the grease or whatever from your fingers, sweat or oils get off and rub off on the model and cause problems there, and it can be kind of awkward to hold it. Then people have lots of other methods, like putting it on sticky tack on top of a bottle or something, which probably works great. I really like the way this model holds together because I tend to drop stuff, and so this thing has actually been really awesome. I liked it so much I even got the big one for holding warjacks. I painted my clockatrice on one of these. So truly, I love having a model holder. Like I guess there's the new one and there's lots of jokes about it, but I've been very happy with my little paint holder. So I would recommend it if you are inclined to drop stuff at all. There you go. Well, bye with them, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really enjoyed it, and I got some stuff done. So hopefully you did too, and we'll see you in another couple of weeks.